everyone, this is Deepika and welcome back to another video. You have picked up the right book if you feel like going back to those highlighted paragraphs time and again. Same has happened with me with this book called Catalyst. This book is written by Mr. Chandramouli Venkatesan and I hugely recommend this book to somebody who is going to enter corporate world or is a fresher. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 points from different chapters and that will almost summarize the book. And these 5 points are my favorite points from the book that I'm going to share with you guys. The first point that I'm going to share with you made real sense to me and has a great logic. He says time spent at work does not equal experience, and I completely buy that point. So, what he's trying to tell us is that if any individual works mindlessly without any evaluation, without following any learning model, that should not be counted as years of experience. So, there's an instant assumption made when you hear A has 5 years of experience and B has 10 years of experience. So, the instant assumption here is that person with 10 years of experience has more knowledge, while there is no effort made to understand who has put in a lot of efforts, who has followed learning model, who has understood the algorithm. So the author has given beautiful examples in this chapter. So for that, you have to read this book. The second point here is extremely meaningful. He says that anything that has effect on you, impacts you, and has a consequence to you can be broadly divided into two main circles, which is the circle of influence and circle of concern. Wherein the circle of influence is a smaller circle and circle of concern is a bigger circle. What he's trying to tell us is that focus on circle of influence rather than focusing on circle of concern where you can't do much about it. Let's take an example of current situation. Let's say you're looking out for a job and you know that you are lacking some sort of skill, wherein what you can do, you can influence yourself, you can upskill yourself, and you can land up a job. And the area of concern, the circle of concern, is current corona situation where you can't do much about it. So rather than focusing on bigger circle, focus on smaller circle and land a job. The third point here is again very beautiful and meaningful, which is Rock's first method. Let's take an example. Let's say you're given a glass of jar wherein you're asked to fill that up with rocks and sand. In first case, you fill that up with sand first and then you'll be able to accommodate very less rocks. In another case, you take up all the rocks first and then you try to pour sand where it will seep in completely and adjust. So the author is trying to tell us is that drugs are the important things in your life which you have to focus on first and put in there first. So these are your health, your relationship, and your career, wherein sand is less important things where you should not focus. So my fourth point or my takeaway you can say from this book would be when author says win where it matters, and I really like this concept. So he says that your career is a marathon, not a sprint. So do not try to get success early in your life. Do not run for awards and achievements and all of those. So try to focus on improving your skill, knowledge, and upskill yourself, and try to get involved in important projects. Try to get that. So do not run for success in first half of your career. You will definitely win if you try to put in a lot of effort in the first half of your career. So try to win where it matters. The fifth and the final point is something I don't know how many of you will agree with the author because it's slightly debatable, I feel. The point here is depth over the width. In my opinion, what I feel is that in early stage of your career, you should go for width. You should experience all kind of subject, and then once you know what you like, you should get into the depth. However, I think what author is trying to tell us is that in case if you get into the width, you will kind of lack expertise. So I think that is what he's trying to tell us. But I think many will not agree with this and many will agree with this. So that's completely fine. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you like this video and I'm sure that you will kind of pick up this book and read because it's very interesting and you will definitely enjoy reading this book.